Hello everybody, I hope you're well. To be honest, I am not well. I'd say that my clutter has reached a level whereby a doctor could probably prescribe something. I mean, when it gets to the point where you actually have to clamber over your mess and use words like clamber, you're really in trouble. So I thought I'd make this video have to just force myself to finally get rid of this absolute dumping ground and have to share some tips which will hopefully be helpful to all of my fellow clutter strugglers. First of all, I feel it's important to give a little bit of context as to where I am and what this clutter consists of, because this is not a good look and I just need to explain myself. My goodness, I actually can't believe how bad it all looks. So this is the big shed in my parents' garden, and it's actually meant to be a games room, a man shed. You wouldn't know it, but there's a pool table below all of this nonsense. So as part of this video, the end goal is to have the place so clean that I can actually have a game of pool in here. So here's hoping. Now that you know where I am, I should explain the clutter. So over the past couple of years, I've been renovating my house, and there would occasionally be bits of mess here and there, objects that I wanted to throw out, or donate, or sell, or keep. There was a lot of things I wanted to keep, and that would all go in here, filed away neatly for a future date when I had the motivation or time to fulfill those intentions. As you can see, that motivation, that fulfillment, never came to fruition, and it kind of just reached a bit of a breaking point recently. My mum kept saying that every time she went into the shed, she felt sick, so I just told her to stop going in there. No, I'm only joking. I said I would deal with it, so here we are. So, the decluttering tip. It's actually tips, but we'll start with the most useful one because that's what you're all here for. So I've been in the Reddit threads perusing everyone's greatest decluttering tips, and the one that kept on coming up was, if all of your clutter was in a fire tomorrow, what pieces would you actually miss and what would you actually replace? I think having this mindset kind of filter really puts things into perspective, because it makes you ask questions like, do I really need to hold on to this hoodie, which is a large boy's size? So that was the mindset I approached all of this with, to really nail down the question of, do I actually need this? If it got destroyed in a fire tomorrow, would I buy another one? And as you can see, this approach kind of worked wonders for me. I'd been ruthless, thrown out all of my large boys' clothes, and was able to get to a potable level, but there was still work to do, and there's still tips to share. Now, before we get into the next best tip that you've ever laid your ears on, I need to do a quick little shout out so that I can contribute to my cat's university fund. So throughout this last bit of 2025, I've been catching up on finally organising my life. I'm not saying I'm going to win the organising Olympics, as you can see, but just simplifying routines, making things feel a bit more calm, and now tackling this physical clutter, it's been very satisfying. Beyond my physical clutter though, I've also been sorting out my digital clutter, which is where today's sponsor, Incogni, has been incredibly useful. I've mentioned Incogni before, but it's basically decluttering for your personal data. In your own shed, you've got no one to blame but yourself for mess, but online it is nearly impossible to control where your information ends up because of data brokers. Data brokers are companies that collect your details from things like public records, social media activity, and old accounts before selling that data to whoever wants it. Best case, this leads to more spam and annoyances for you. Worst case, it's a safety concern. I don't know about you, but I don't want it to be easy for anyone to look me up and find out where me and my employees, my cats, live. So where Incogni comes in is they contact these data brokers and legally force them to delete your information, whether that's your phone number, home address, or even your financial details. You can do this yourself, but it takes a huge amount of time, and some brokers intentionally make it a difficult, never-ending process. So that's where Incogni comes in. You just give them permission to work on your behalf and they handle everything for you. They automatically sweep the internet for your data and continuously and automatically send removal requests to keep your data clean. So if you're watching this video because you want less stress and more control in your life, give Incogni a try using the link below and the code PATCHY for 60% off an annual plan. Right, so the next couple of decluttering tips which I've found very helpful are all about getting started, because I think that's the most overwhelming part of doing something like this. On this front, one of the best things I read was to start by decluttering things which are not sentimental. If you set aside the morning to get rid of all of your nonsense, and the first thing you start analysing is a photo album from 2003, you're just going to get nostalgic about your old hairline and get nothing done. So to get started, instead, the best thing to do is pick up the ugliest, easy to throw away item that you can find. The bigger the better, and work back from there. For me, this was more scrap bits of wood than you can imagine, an exercise bike that hadn't been pedalled since 2019, and about 2 billion bits of plasterboard cut-offs that I somehow thought I was still going to use. Anyway, to continue on that just getting started tip, I saw a few other tips from people about committing to the decluttering process. The first one, which for me is a ship that sailed long ago, is to not buy or create the clutter in the first place. It's not helpful at all if you're already at the point where your family are calling you stick of the dump. But yes, I do agree, the best approach is to not clutter in the first place, but we're not all perfect. So back to the good tips, I saw someone come up with something called the 27 rule, and this was by a mum on Reddit who said that every time herself and her family are leaving the house, she shouts out 27, and for the next 5 minutes everyone has to put away 27 items in their correct place. This could be putting 4 dirty spoons in the dishwasher, 3 bits of cardboard in the recycling, or the full bin outside. As you would expect, the mum that posted this said that 4 people putting away 27 things in just a few minutes becomes a dangerously effective way of preventing clutter and decluttering. I don't really know what the significance of 27 is. It's maybe just her favourite number, but I need to train my cats in this one because currently they're just not helping at all. The next tip that I saw, which actually gave me the inspiration for making this video, is to take a before picture of the clutter. The process of cleaning up clutter can be a bit exhausting, and if it starts to feel like it's dragging on, you can feel like you're not making much progress at all. So by having a picture of the before that you can check in on, or in my case, quite haunting evidence from this video of what it all looked like before, you can have a look back and give yourself a boost by seeing that you've actually done a good job and made some progress. I think this is probably just because decluttering is one of those things where you can be a bit too close to the job and maybe not see the change and progress that you're making in the space. Another tip that I saw, which might seem a bit obvious but that I've actually used for this process, was setting aside the time to do it. Putting it in the calendar. Every Christmas, me and my brother used to get our friends round and hang out in the shed, drinking Capri Suns, having a laugh, playing pool, and just having a nice time. Because there was a bit of a time pressure there, thinking it would be nice to get everyone around at Christmas, I decided to just set myself the goal of, right, for the next 24 hours I'm going to go all out at this so that I can get everyone around and break out the Capri Suns like the glory days gone by. This next tip feels like splitting hairs a bit, but it's helpful to realise that decluttering does not mean tidy or clean. After a declutter, it doesn't necessarily mean that your space will look amazing or spotless. It just means that you'll have less clutter. It's also helpful to realise that you don't just get one shot at it. It's a process that you can repeat in a week or two to comb over the clutter again and ask yourself again, if this burned in a fire tomorrow, would I replace it? Even though I was coming to the end of my shed decluttering process, there were still plenty of bits which are quite unsightly that I kept in here. I mean, I'm just a regular guy. I couldn't bring myself to throw out the 2 big bits of plasterboard or all of the unused oak flooring. Even my little weightlifting corner. I don't know if I have what it takes to return to the Mr. Olympia stage. I'm not going to be hasty and throw out my 10kg barbell. So as much as I would have liked to have been completely ruthless with it all, at my core, I am just a little man who does find it hard to throw away scrap bits of wood or perfectly good cardboard boxes. The main thing is, we got the pool table back to its former glory, and I can now get my friends round for a Capri Sun at Christmas. So I hope these tips and seeing me getting about it has been helpful. Being a person with a bit of talent for creating clutter, I know how overwhelming it can be, so thought this might be a helpful video, or even just a satisfying video to watch it all get sorted out. If you have any decluttering tips yourself, be sure to leave a comment down below so that myself and others can add it to our clutter destroying repertoire. Finally, here are some befores and afters to remind you of the horror and of the results. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate you taking a second to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.